So a lot of us big men are in positions that we don't think we should be in, and we're not in positions that we think we deserve. And when that happens, we stop trying because, look, nobody really believes that we're capable of doing it anyway. And that disbelief that others have in us translate into us not having belief in ourselves. And in turn, we take a hit in the characteristic that needed most into succeeding in this lifetime, which is our confidence. So this is the first installment in a series of confidence inspired by Dr. Myles Munroe. So y'all know what's coming up next. Let's go! What's up, big fellas? Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode on my channel. And if you like the content and the information, go ahead right now and hit that subscribe button, as well as the bell notification icon so that you're notified any and every time I drop some new heat. And also follow me on Instagram at Dondrick_Ray. Now, let's jump into this content. So there's a lot of information in this series, and I'm going to have to cover each point one at a time because I don't want you guys to miss out on anything that this series has to offer. And it's important because a lot of times people in this world will have confidence just walking down the street, but not many people can articulate what confidence is. Not many people can articulate how to get confidence. And most people can articulate why we need confidence in the first place. But it takes someone who's been on both sides of the spectrum to really let people know why this thing is so important. So I'm going to get into its importance right now. The first point in this series is knowing one's purpose. Now, your purpose is an extremely difficult thing to figure out, especially when you're not really sure of who you are in the first place. I had an old pastor who always used to pose the question, can you really tell me who you are without telling me what you do? And that's a very important question because who you are should be tied up in what you do. But so many of us in this world are not living up to our potential. So what we do really doesn't matter in the broader spectrum of who we are. If you find out who you are, it makes it a lot easier to find out your purpose. Who you are and finding out your purpose are almost one and the same. When you find out who, then you can go out and do. I should put that on a t-shirt. When you find out who, you can go out and do. So I'm gonna give you some tips on how to find your purpose. I want all of you guys to get a piece of paper and list on that piece of paper everything that you know you're good at. There's nothing too big or too small. From you being a natural athlete to you just be good at talking trash. Are you creative? And if so, in what area are you most creative in? Are you an academic? And if so, then what's your main field of study? Do you have a passion? Do you have things that you like to do more than other things? And this is an important one. Does what you're good at doing correspond to what you like doing? Meaning that are your natural gifts important in the making your particular passion succeed? So make a list of what you're good at naturally, and then make another list of what you like to do or your passions. And then go out and ask somebody close to you what they think you're good at. And remember, on this list, nothing is too small. If you know that there's not a person that makes better fried chicken than you, put that on that list. Next, is there something that you've just been dreaming about that you really haven't pulled the trigger on yet? It has been in your mind constantly, day in and day out. You asking yourself, what if I did this? Could I make this work? Is it possible for me to succeed in this area? Let me tell you something. That thought is there for a reason. That should not be ignored. Everything that we do in this life has to exist up here first. The Bible says that as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. But something that is extremely imperative in finding your confidence, and I'm not trying to sound too spiritual because I am a Christian, but understand this. It's going to be very, very difficult for you to even believe that you have a purpose if you believe in evolution. If you believe that you are a creation, then it's going to be more possible for you to find a purpose in life because creation equals purpose. Everything, look around, everything that is created around you has a purpose. I'm speaking into a microphone. What is the purpose of a microphone? Why was it invented? To amplify my voice. You cannot go around walking this earth believing that everything that you see around you has a purpose except for the creator of those things that have purpose. You must first believe that you were created. After we tackle creation, so if I'm created, what was I created to do? That is the question you want to ask yourself. Boom! So look at this. I told you to write out your gifts and your passions. This is something else I want you to write down. What do you hate? And I'm not talking about pet peeves. I'm talking about what do you hate that you think you can correct in this world?
Hey, boo, guess what? I hate you.
Or do you look at something and say, that needs this? Can you look at somebody's life and say that their life would be better if they had this? There is a problem in this world, believe it or not, that you yourself personally were created to solve. And your purpose specifically is finding that problem and figuring out ways and steps to solving it. I seen that there were multiple fashion channels on YouTube, but I scrubbed through YouTube and I didn't see many people who were representing big and tall men. There were a couple and then they weren't inconsistent. I had questions that needed to be answered and I had to go out and find them on my own, and I finally realized that, look, I actually like solving these problems. And then I made a channel on solving fashion problems for big men. That's what this channel is all about. But I'm only able to do it because I saw a need and I figured out that I'm actually capable of fulfilling that need. How did I figure that out? I looked inside myself and I realized that I had the gifts and the talents to solve this problem. So the summary to this video, after all that I said, the key to figuring out your purpose, which is your first step in having confidence, is figuring out your gifts, figuring out your passion, and then taking action on things that you believe need to be changed. Because let me tell you something, nobody's going to do it until you do it. And if you have to be the pioneer, if you have to be the one to break down the doors in order for everybody else to get in, so be it. But you cannot allow yourself to die with those gifts, those talents, those passions, and that ability to solve those problems. Think about it. You have the keys to change this world and you don't do it because you're too afraid. And at this point, that's all it is fear, because I've given you tips on how to find your purpose. So the excuse is no longer for lack of information. So this week, I want to encourage everybody out there to just start on what I said. Make a list. Make a list of what you're good at. Nothing too big or nothing too small. Any and everything. Go to somebody else and ask them what you're good at. Put that on the list. Then make another list. What are you passionate about and or what you like doing? Take those two columns, put them together, fit into or are necessary to achieve what you're passionate about. If you're passionate about music, you obviously have to have some kind of rhythm. If you don't, then you may want to find another passion. That's just an example. And then after that, ask yourself what it is you hate or what it is you think can be changed. And then take that gift, put it in that passion, take the passion, and then put it into what you believe can be changed. And while you are in your work, you will start to discover what your purpose actually is. And when you're first discovering your purpose, you're not going to discover the end result. Meaning you may not find out what you're going to do for the rest of your life. But this first step will set you up to know what you're supposed to do next, and then what you're supposed to do next, and then what you're supposed to do next. Because life is about seasons. Some things you do in this season, you won't do in the next season. But this season always, always, always will set you up for the next. So I don't want everybody to get discouraged because they don't know what they're supposed to do with their lives. Don't look at it like that. Ask yourself what you're supposed to do with your day. Ask yourself what you're supposed to do with your week, your month, your year. And while you are working, you will ultimately set yourself up for your purpose. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of my channel. Like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, big fellas, just because we big, don't mean we can't stay fly. Peace.